and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the Preble Town Board meeting of May 12th, 2025. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes from April?
Make a motion to approve the minutes for April.
Go ahead.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Jen?
Dog control, no report received. Justice report, April fines collected $7,650.
Thanks, Jen. Your report, Jeff.
Got the copy of my report. Just a few things to bring up. The FEMA East Hills project opened up Thursday mid-morning. Suco finished up the paving up there. We're waiting for that to season out a little bit so we can put a chip seal on it. But we took down all the detour signs all the way to East Homer, so it's basically 99.9% done. And then we just got all the closeout paperwork that we got. Looking forward to that. I just chatted with Don a minute ago, the Barton LaJudas, the architectural engineering agreement for the Curry Road. We'll be discussing that in the future. Also the Foley Road question we chatted about. The only other thing was the Paul Shenneman. Did he get a hold of you, Don?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. So Jim and I discussed that about this. So
Was he like today?
no, last week sometime.
I'll double check.
He wanted to discuss with you about a project to see where you were comfortable as far as how to make it a slot as far as it a full public works project or something lesser than that.
Okay.
He just wanted to talk to you about it so we could go.
Okay.
Any questions? Oh, town cleanup's done, thank God. About average. So, thanks.
Thanks, Jeff. Okay, recreation. Nobody here from recreation.
Just want to
Oh, you want
mention a couple of things. I talked with Dave. I was able to move the tarp that was out there. We got rid of that. That was no good. It had holes and mice and rats have been in it. We got rid of that. We got rid of the netting that was on the batting cage. There was holes in that, and that was a liability if a ball got out and hit somebody. So we just took the netting down. We left the poles up for now, just in case we may put something back there. I mean, it's a lot easier to just mow around a pole than all that netting that was falling down. And as far as the big blue backstop on the home run fence, over half the panels are out, and we need to decide as a board or however whether we take the rest of them down, because none of them are in good shape. They will come down eventually. If we just put new ones up, that means we're going to have to replace the old ones in a couple of years. And roughly there's 28 sheets of plywood on the ground right now, and that's only half. What I'd like to do is just leave where it just says Preble Park up at the top. We can leave that, keep that painted, and at least you can see it from the 81. And I don't think that would look too bad. There's one set of bleachers down there that I believe we have to remove due to safety reasons. That's the tall ones that are by the softball field, the field that gets used more than the others. They're not supposed to be over, I believe it's 36 inches high. 32 or 36, so that'll have to be removed. I looked at it today, and I don't think there's any way we can cut it down to make that usable. But there is 3 others, 2 on the other field, and still 1 on that field. The dugouts, they haven't been used. The ones that Homer built and did a nice job on it. They have doors on it, and a couple of the doors, the ground is heaved underneath them. So, I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on that park if we're going to continue using it as park. Both of the buildings, the main building, I don't know if you call it the soffit or whatever, is coming off. The 2x4 is missing on that. The building where between the ball fields and where we keep the mower, That has got about a 6-inch hole in the roof in it in the northeast corner. Dave thinks we ought to put a whole new roof on it. I don't know if the building is worth a whole new roof. So have the town board look at it as a whole or whatever, make those decisions. The pump house is still in rough shape, you know, and the restrooms between the roof and the blocks where that wood is, that's all real piffy now. So we're gonna have to look at it and determine how much money we want to sink into that. I mean, it's stuff that needs to be fixed. We're gonna continue to use it. I mean, it doesn't all have to be done this year, but there are things that need to be done. And if we hire anybody, it's gonna cost a prevailing wage.
Is it being used by teams in some towns or?
It hasn't been in a couple of years anyways, maybe longer than that, but the people that do their family gatherings and stuff, they'll use the little field, but there's no ball fields that are diagnosed for using for ball fields, you know, designated, I should say.
Okay. Mhm.
It's just a matter of how much you want to spend, and I mean, it's gonna be, long you let it go, it's gonna cost them even more. We just gotta make the determination of what we're gonna do.
Okay, well, thanks for alerting us all on that. If anybody goes to the park, walking or whatever, take a look at these buildings and just,
And we probably ought to have some kind of decision by next month, so what we're gonna do if we're gonna do anything. Okay, you don't want it to be a safety hazard.
Well, that's the thing. If there are safety issues, I don't know, you want those areas used at all, right?
Right.
You know, like you described the outfield wall.
And where the plywood did come down, part of the fence got damaged too. Kind of minor, but it's still something that's gotta be fixed.
okay.
Do
Well,
we want to all go down there together as a group and talk about it?
Probably should, really, that'd be the way to do it.
Yeah.
And discuss each building and each, you know,
Mhm.
potential problem.
Mhm.
I'm assuming evenings would be the best for everybody, I would think.
Save that money and have to do it again. So say, don't even do anything with it.
What's that?
The buildings, the little buildings. Why do anything with it if the park is not being used? Baseball field, which is farther one, this is the softball field. Why put your money into it? In 3 years, you're gonna have to do it again. So why waste the money? Get it out of there.
Which little building you talking about?
The one down back there. Yes, the one up here, the red building, that needs to be repaired. If there's repaired through that. And then the restrooms, yes.
Well, the pump house needs some work done on it.
That's what I'm getting at. Those buildings are being used.
So what are you saying? The dugouts? I don't know what building you're talking about.
Why put money into the dugouts when there's no teams going down there? They never
I
had
guess
dugouts years
if we
ago.
don't, then what do we have to do legally? Just
Well, as you described it, I mean, there's a liability risk. You can't, I mean, you're either going to fence it off and restrict and prevent anyone from going there, or try and fence off or somehow prevent people from going into what we perceive as unsafe areas.
Dugouts is just doors, right?
yeah, that's the easiest fix out of everything would be that.
Doors out.
You know, if it's, you know, even if it's if you got paid prevailing wage, it might be $500. You know, who knows? I don't know.
Unless you got volunteers.
Yeah, and I think the suggestion to go down as a group so everyone looks at it. And do you have money budgeted? Any maintenance expenses budgeted?
There is money in the budget for grounds and park, yeah. Does anybody have any ideas of when they want to go down and take a look?
I'm down any evening.
Okay. Mike?
Just, yeah.
What's the best day for you?
Don't
Anybody
matter.
got anything going on tonight? We might get out of here by 8 o'clock. Do it tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
And we're not tying up another night or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see what time we get down and see
Okay.
what we can do tonight.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. County Legislature, Kevin is not here yet. Jen?
Zoning and code enforcement April report. 4 building permits, 58 miles travel, 11 building inspections, 38 hours work, 1 fire inspection, 4 complaint follow-ups, 5 telephone inquiries. The next planning board meeting is May 28th at 7 p.m. The next ZBA meeting is June 5th at 7 p.m. Historian, no report received. Town clerk, fees collected in April, $526. Dispersed $524 to the town of Preble and $2 to New York State Ag and Markets.
Thank you, Jen. Unfinished business, we have the post office issue and the construction here. And I think Jeff gave us a pretty detailed report as to the status of this. So we can go on and read that, take a look at it. Landscaping in front of the town hall. Dave, you're the hero of the night here. Go ahead.
Well, I didn't see any sense in paying somebody $3,000 to redo that flower bed and then $2,000 for the remaining part of the year to maintain it. So I got about 8 hours invested at 0 cost to the town, and I got at least both sides of the walkway done. I still got to do against the boards, unless somebody else wants to help.
Mhm.
It
We
looks
don't,
very nice.
we don't
That's good, Dave.
reject any volunteers.
Where did you get the mulch from?
There's no mulch. That's all hand dug up and pulled
Oh.
up with those little 3-hook
Oh.
claws.
Wow. Okay. So there was mulch already down there, but it was
Well, it's
it was matted down. And you just-
yeah, there wasn't a lot of mulch, so it looks like mulch, but
and
it's
you-
just
and you-
rotted.
You fluffed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks nice. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thanks.
Does everybody agree that we don't really want to spend $5,000 for the front of the building?
Yeah.
I
this
just
time?
didn't see
Yeah.
where that was even
Yeah.
feasible.
Okay. Memorial Day Parade, 3 board members will be there for Memorial Day. We'll have the parade and the ceremony. Things are coming together pretty well on that, and the ice cream is on its way, right?
Yeah, ice cream's ordered, cars are ordered,
Mm-hmm.
go from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next item, I added a couple of items here. We have a situation where a resident of the town felt that, Dave, maybe you can explain this, that there was in front of
There
the
is a
park.
circumstance that one of the residents wanted something done, so they volunteered to go get some materials, and Dave Smith, being on the rec, said he would, if they got the materials, he would take care of it. Well, this individual went down to and got the supplies that we needed, put it on their credit card, said she was tax exempt on her credit card. And I brought the situation to Jim, and Jim says, I couldn't take it back because it was on, that's the original thing was I couldn't take it back, but it was on their credit card. So Don, looking for a little guidance here. What should
So
we?
both Dave and I said, let's wait till this board meeting and ask Don about it.
I'm assuming that
So-
we got to give it back to her, let her return it, and then
So
we
he-
can buy it
yeah,
or
he-
whatever. Or,
Here's a resident that is buying paint and wants us to do the work and then wants us to reimburse her for the paint.
Oh, she does want to be reimbursed?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because initially I was going to say the town can accept the gift.
Mm-hmm.
So if she were buying it and giving it to the town with the idea that Dave or whomever, Dave, or the
Smith.
fellow maintain,
Mm-hmm.
that works.
Okay.
The
but with the
sales
sale
tax,
tax on her credit card,
Well,
that's what bothered me the
well, two
most.
things. We had nothing to do with that transaction.
Correct.
And I wonder how she was able to purchase a gallon of paint.
Could have
free
been
of
somebody
sales
new
tax.
at the
They believed her.
Meldrums or whatever. We do have an account there.
Mm-hmm. They believed her. She said,
Okay,
I'm buying this for the town of Preble. And they said, okay, you know.
but they didn't, she didn't
She
charge
didn't have
it
a
to the,
voucher, or didn't charge it
to
to
the-
the town or
right.
anything.
so she bought it on her credit card. I don't know, I think that's the retailer's mistake
Mhm.
and her problem. I don't.
We
think-
don't, we're not liable in any way with the
Well,
sales tax.
I
mean,
can
if we're
never say
audited.
never, but we did not orchestrate that.
Right.
We
We did
said,
not
yeah,
initiate that at all.
we would paint. I think is what sounds like what was said.
$28 or $35. I got the stuff here, you know.
Could she go in and the retailer and he adds a tax to the bill
She could
and
pay.
give us the bill and we pay her and then taxes.
Maybe she is
something.
tax exempt. You don't know that either.
Well,
might
she
be
said she was buying it for the town of Preble.
Yeah.
But it bothers me that a resident of the town is purchasing material for the town where we have not initiated that purchase.
Right, without
That's
due,
what-
that
right.
did we give authority to do that?
Right, we did not give authority to do that.
And I was there when she was talking with Dave and she said she would get the paint. So, you know, when somebody says that, yeah, I'm assuming that they're gonna cover the cost,
Right.
you know. I'll take care of the paint. I'll go down and get it.
Is this down at the park or is this on this building or?
That's the park sign. Oh, I can't remember. Is this Swayze Park or Town of Preble? I don't.
It's,
Oh,
the, it's the park entrance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's her problem. Tell her to take it back.
Yeah, you can certainly give it back to her and say, look, we thought this was a gift. You know, I'm sure now if it was a special mix of
I
color,
believe it is.
then I think they may not take it back.
If we were buying it, it would be tax exempt,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
It's a mix.
So can't we just buy it from her with that?
Yeah, you could. I mean,
It's
it's,
only 27 bucks.
right, it's $23 can
Yeah.
of paint and $4 brush.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So it's not a lot of money, but we gotta set up, you know, let
Right.
people know that.
Like, exactly. It's not the money involved. It's the precedent that it sets.
And if this paint is usable by the town, I mean, it's not just, we're just buying it to make it go away, but we're gonna use this and there's a need for
we
this,
very well could, yeah.
you know, you could justify that expense.
Mhm.
And it was a
And
misunderstanding.
not worry about the
but-
sales tax, or we can create a.
Well,
check
if you
and-
buy it from her, I think,
Yeah,
in
no
effect,
sales tax.
she's buying it on your behalf and you're simply reimbursing her for what she paid.
We just authorized her to get it.
So treat it as,
Yeah.
and you're ratifying her purchase and you're just reimbursing her for the cost.
Mhm.
And just tell her not to do it again.
Yeah,
So
Right.
we'll need a
Right.
check,
I
a
mean-
voucher for that then.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got Town of Preble, this isn't our address, right?
What's that?
Box
Yeah,
183.
Tisco
That
Valley.
must be her
Take,
address.
send it back, but it's
She
a
must have
mix.
found a rookie at the,
Road.
she must have found a rookie at the
It's her problem.
cash register.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Somebody knew. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you can use it, it's play by it,
Oh,
use
What do
it.
what do we wanna do?
Well,
If she wants to gift it to us, that everything is fine then. You
As
know,
a gift.
Yeah.
You don't reimburse her.
If she wants to gift it to us, then we don't have to reimburse her, yeah. But I guess I would, you know, I don't like the fact that she just went down
Right.
and somebody did, and then she expects to get paid for it.
Who has possession of the paint can?
Right here.
Oh, God. We have possession of the damn thing. Oh, Lord.
I was asked to go pick it up by Dave Smith.
I get it. I
Yeah.
understand.
But this is before we knew any of this,
right.
you know.
It's snowballed as the time went on. Yeah. So, okay, so I guess the board has to make a decision. You know, it's not a big decision, but I think it's the precedent more than anything, is do we just reimburse her and talk to her and say, you just can't do this, go buying on behalf of the town, and we'll use the paint and, you know, just have a talk with her. Or we could play hardball and
Then
with
we
a
just send
resident.
a letter to Meldrums saying these are the people.
I
that
talked to
are
them, and so I
authorized
told them it's just Jim and Jeff and any board member
Yeah,
with a
so they,
verbal.
yeah, so they know, yeah.
Mhm.
Did they react much at all when you told them
No, he
that?
was a young guy, I did see he put it in the computer or
Okay.
on the thing,
Yeah,
so
so
it's
it's
in there now.
taken
Okay,
care
good.
of.
And on that same hand, Dave Smith was asking me about what he could purchase when he couldn't. And he actually has a budget he can work out of, that he can go to Tully Building and gets within, you know, I don't know if the limit's $50, $100, whatever. But he can, because he is
Without
employed
additional,
through the town, and if he
Yeah,
he
so
needs a faucet, we can't say, well,
Right.
wait a minute, we gotta get okay to go get a faucet
right.
or something, something like that.
So I think we can avoid making a scene out of it, making hard feelings over it, and just use the paint, tell her not to do it again, and just give her her money for the paint and say, thank you for helping us out, but this is not the way to do it. This is not the procedure that should be
I
done.
mean, we could ask her if she wants to gift it first, and if she doesn't, like Mike said,
Mhm.
Yep.
were you gifting this to
Mhm.
us? I mean, we know she wasn't, because she
Right.
would have given us a receipt. But,
Right.
you
Okay,
know,
so who wants to talk to her?
I don't know.
Dave, you or me?
flip a coin on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let
We'll
Jim
we'll
talk
work it
to
out
her.
after the
Yeah.
meeting. All right. So we'll resolve that in some way. Next item I have here is,
What do we do with this?
Don, could you just give us a summary update on the short-term rental situation and the
it's in-
litigation that's
it's in
going on?
litigation and papers have been filed. I talked to Brad today. The town has until Thursday to submit their final response, so he's in
Mhm.
good shape for that.
Mhm.
There is a court date, and I believe it's June 4 at 9 a.m. And it's really, I believe it's for oral argument.
Mhm.
This before Judge Burns. That's the judge that has the case.
And where is that?
She would be at the courthouse.
In Cortland?
Yep.
Okay.
Will a decision be made then, or is there, Probably
I
not.
would bet that you would not. It's possible, but it's usually to allow a written decision to be made on something like this, you would expect 30, 60 days, somewhere in that
Mhm,
range
mhm.
after the return date.
So anybody can show up there and listen?
Good.
Okay.
It probably will be in her chambers. I doubt it'll be in one of the big courtrooms.
Mhm.
So it might be kind of an intimate setting, but yeah, you're welcome to be there.
Mhm.
It might take an hour between arguments, presentations or oral presentations
Mhm.
back and forth,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anybody who's interested and has the time,
what was the date on that?
June
John?
4th at 9 a.m.
You got it.
courthouse in Cortland. Okay. We received $779 from USPS. We received $1,771.89 from Northeast Transformers. We received $61.93 from the U.S. Treasury Department and $10,310.92 from Portland County Snow and Ice.
So Jim, and Jeff, that's the 24-25 season. That's the payment for that.
That finishes
right.
off this last one.
So I've got the agreement for 25, 26, and 26, 27, which because I think he dropped it off. Fran's actually looking at his, the same type of agreement for Scott, and we're gonna get our heads together. Couple thoughts there maybe,
Okay.
but
That'd be
we'll
interesting.
get it done.
Yeah, okay.
The snow's not gonna be falling before next meeting anyway. Oh, let's hope. Okay, all right, thanks.
Okay, so we need to pay some bills here. We need a motion for the general fund vouchers.
Make a motion to pay general fund vouchers abstracts number 5, numbers 82 to 99, totaling $14,772.69.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Need a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers.
I'll make a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers, abstract number 5, numbers 33 to 39, totaling $16,493.15.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Jen, can you explain this?
I don't know
Okay.
exactly what the HA fund is, but that's where the Jensen overhead door funds are coming from. Jeff, you want to
Yeah.
add to that?
Just the money you set aside last year at the end of the year for the cold storage. Gina put it in a separate category.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Okay, so now we open up the meeting for.
I need a
public-
motion to
Oh, motion, I'm
pay that,
sorry, yeah.
please.
Make a motion to pay the HA fund vouchers abstracts number 5, abstract number 5, number 2, totaling $19,360.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Thank
Carried.
you.
Now we open the meeting up for public comment, for questions or comments from the public. If anybody has anything they want to say? Steve?
It just may be a crazy idea, but just, thinking in the past, the town used the park, and benefited from it, picnics, various activities, church activities, different things. So I was wondering, well, what if the town people really cared enough about the park that they wanted to volunteer? And the first thing that comes to my mind is the insurance to do it. But if the town people, enough of them wanted to volunteer their help to work on things, how would that work out?
The whole park was built by volunteers down there, all
Mhm.
buildings and everything, except the Palmer High School that they built.
So actually, the first question is exploring the town people to see what kind of interest there is. Is there enough interest to want to have a town work day? And if they did have a town work day, how are we set for insurance to cover that? It's already covered just to be on the property, right?
Well, two things. I mean, that what you're proposing is what Dave's doing right now. I mean, he's volunteering his time to improve town property.
But
So
I
it's
am
just-
also a board member.
Yeah, but you're no different,
Hmm.
than anyone else in the town, really, in that regard.
And
So-
in the newsletter, there's a-
So you could certainly try and organize that. Obviously, we would need to check with, what is it, NYMER, the insurance. And, just have them sign off on it, but I think there'd be coverage.
I know with all the stuff they had going on at the cemetery, I was up there, volunteered 2 weeks up there doing stuff up there. And their insurance policy covered any volunteers. I'm not saying ours does or doesn't, but it was stated that any volunteer doing anything would be covered if they got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's risk management to your idea. In other words, someone on behalf of the town would need to take charge of the organization and structure to it, to make sure that, people are properly attired and it's clear who's doing what. And hopefully the people that are doing what know what the heck they're
Well,
doing.
that's
And so you'd want direct supervision, that kind of stuff.
Have a board member be a director.
Well, it could be a board member or someone delegated by the board. But that's risk management. You're trying to have the event occur in such a way that you're reducing your risk. You're not just saying, yeah, go do it. We're taking appropriate steps so it's organized and done in a safe manner.
It would be nice if we had volunteers, but you can't even get volunteers to pull leads, so I don't know how
Yeah,
you're gonna
right.
get somebody to.
Right.
So my next thought is the idea of using the Preble webpage that we have and asking the townspeople what kind of interest there would be in having a town day. So we've got some kind of a town day coming up that we're gonna want to get ready for. And then getting ready for that town day where we have activities in the park, that would be the incentive for people to jump in and volunteer.
Sure.
That's another idea. But one thing with the town webpage, that's kind of misleading because lots of people will check in. See, I know certain people that check in 3 times a day on the webpage, and each one of those count as a hit.
Mhm.
So it's kind of get a true reading from the website.
Right. Yeah, you'd need someone sending in and confirming they're gonna be there, right?
Yeah.
Other than
And then
just visiting the
obviously
site.
you're outside, everything's come weather related, and all of a sudden they're on vacation, and I mean, it'd be great if it worked.
We have the newsletter coming out in about a week, and in the article that I wrote message from the supervisor, I did write that the park is very underutilized, that we just don't have people there playing ball or walking or running or whatever, and that we should have more people there to justify all the infrastructure that's there and the land that's there. And last year I had an inquiry. Somebody wanted to bring a baseball team there and just practice there. And I said, you're welcome to come and practice. There's nobody else using the park. And after he looked at the condition of the park, he backed out and said, we're not really interested. So the baseball field is deteriorating greatly to where teams don't even want to play there anymore as far as practice, batting practice or whatever. So, and it's a lot of money to maintain an infield. And if we don't have anybody that wants to play there, it's hard to justify it. So,
We got a lot of other costs coming
Yeah,
up.
but
I
it's-
mean, with the county and everything
yeah.
else, our taxes are gonna go through the roof to begin with. I just don't know how much money we got to
Right.
spend on something that may
Yeah.
not get used.
I'm not saying for us to make that ball field playable, but I'm just saying that as things, lay vacant, lay dormant, nature takes over and the weeds keep growing, and after all, you don't have an infield anymore. But we did have Homer Baseball come a number of years ago, and they totally reconditioned that infield to be playable. So maybe somebody else will at some point. But Steve, answering your question, I'm not sure that there's a lot of demand for the park at this point. For playing on those fields, we don't have the demand. So yes, we can get a team together to accomplish a certain objective, but I think we got to be careful what that objective is and how do we maintain it going forward.
Well, when Homer School signed the contract with Preble, was there anything about, after they decided they didn't want to use it anymore, to dismantle it?
No, it was a 3-year contract that we signed, and we thought that was good. And then they did Homer Baseball and Suitcoat. They invested a lot of money into that field and into all that infrastructure. And basically, their gift to us was, we built dugouts for you. We have a batting cage for you. We have a backstop that cost I don't know how many thousands of dollars, and an outfield fence and everything. So we're leaving all of that for you to enhance the park, and it was an enhancement to the park. It's just that nobody is playing there, and it's deteriorating, and that's what we've been discussing
Was
tonight.
there ever anything put out, like, to solicit for ball teams to come after they left?
Well, because of the Gutchess play, the ball fields at the Gutchess Park, all the serious baseball players are going in that direction. They don't really want to play in Preble. They'd rather play there on a more professional field. So that's the way that has come about. Any other questions about anything? Comments? Okay. So we now need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Could I ask
Yep.
about the windmills? Have you heard anything?
I have not
on
heard
that?
anything,
Uh,
but we have a moratorium.
we have a moratorium. Could we get, was a suggestion made to get the regulations that Lafayette has established? And so if you know the supervisor, we could get those to review for us, because we're supposed to be coming up with regulations. And
Right.
I guess that's a really
Planning board
they've
is
done a lot of
working on
work.
that right now.
And I
planning
think,
board.
I think they were talking about Kyler too as a
Yeah,
regulations.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Pretty sure of
Yeah,
that.
there's
you know.
several towns
Yeah.
in Madison County too.
I think it was, I don't know if it was Sue, somebody was telling me that they were talking to Kyler about some of their
Oh, yeah.
regulations.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the town planning board has those copies. I know Peter does, but I think everyone's got it.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Well, I've written down
Okay.
Lafayette, so I'll
Good.
see if I can get those.
so we need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Hi.
Carried. Do we want to?
Town board members go down to the park.
Yeah.
It's 7:30. Look, and see what's down there.
What if you're gonna take notes while you're there? Do you need me to come and take any notes?
Oh,
I
that's a
don't
good
think
question.
I don't think we need that.
We're not
I
gonna-
don't.
Okay,
This is just a casual.
that's fine.
You know.
That's a good
Observation.
question.
About the job thing.